We are on our phones all the time, so the least we can do is have our phones help us boost our career. Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Brittany Hayles, and this is Hayles Consulting, a business dedicated to helping you gain clarity in your career. We are on our phones literally all the time, not only because they're entertaining, we have entertaining apps, but because pretty much everything can be done on our phones now. So the reason why I use apps to help me during my career is because I said to myself, if I'm gonna be on my phone, I might as well let my phone work for me. And so today I'm gonna be walking you through those apps, and hopefully you can find some of these apps that will work for you. Before we even get started here, you know the drill. Go ahead and click that subscribe button down below where I talk about everything on this channel related to your career and life. Also, do not forget to follow Hayles Consulting on Instagram for more career tips. Let's get started. So the first app is called Evernote. And Evernote is exactly what it sounds like. It's a notes app for productivity. And the reason why I find it important is because it helps me stay on top of my deadlines and also helps me create to-do lists. My mind is in 80 places at one time. So when I have one space for me to go back to every day and check, okay, here's what I need to do by the end of the week or by the end of the month or by the end of the day, it is so good for me because I am at core and at the heart and soul of my being, I am all over the place. So having myself, my brain, everything that's going on in my life being this one specific location as a reminder is so good for me and so good for my career. There's been plenty of times where I open my notes app and see, oh my God, something's due tomorrow. And it's just because I have so much going on, I realize it. So I highly recommend if you're somebody like me who wants to get more organized or become more productive, like get into the habit of creating notes and to-do lists and having checklists and reminders for yourself so that you can stay on top of those deadlines and tasks. Now the second app I have for you all is called Grammarly. Now you may have guessed it already, but yes, Grammarly is an app to check your grammar. It is literally just that. It's an app to help you become a better writer and communicate more effectively. Now the great thing about Grammarly and what a lot of people don't even realize in terms of the app itself, it's not even just checking your punctuation or if you use the right then or the right there. It also can monitor your tone. So it'll let you know if what you're writing is very passive or very assertive. It has some pretty cool features. And in addition to that, the app can also be a phone app and a desktop app. I will admit that I use the desktop app a lot more because I do a lot more email writing on my computer than I do my phone. So while you're in the middle of writing out a paragraph or an email, it will highlight for you a word that you potentially spelled wrong, or it will say to you like, what you're saying here sounds very passive, try being a little bit using more assertive words, or vice versa. Like, it is such a dope tool, highly recommend. And in the long term, why an app like Grammarly is effective for your career is because you want to get into the habit of communicating effectively. The better you communicate, the better conversations you'll have, the less you'll have to keep repeating yourself over and over again because someone will get your point from the beginning. So highly recommend, if not Grammarly, then any app that checks your grammar. Now the third app I have for you here today is called Quartz. Now Quartz is a business news app, and the way in which I use Quartz during my career is to stay on top of current events. During your career, it is so important that you know what's going on in the news domestically and also globally that affects your industry, that affects your company, that affects your career as a whole. And the only way for you to know that is to be on top of business news. Now, when I say business news, Quartz offers more than just news related to business because they also talk about global phenomenons and things that are going on in the world that impact business. So it's not just gonna be listing out, oh, here's what's going on Target, here's what's going on at Sony. Like they're gonna talk about business in general, but also news in general. And in business conversations and in career conversations in general, it's so great to be able to bring up topics about what's going on in the world and what's affecting people on a daily basis. So again, if not the Quartz app, get a news app or some sort of app that allows you to stay on top of your industry and what's going on in the world from a current event standpoint, because not only is it important for your career to know, or your business to know what's going on in the world, but it's also a really great conversation starter during your career. And when you walk into an interview, you never know what type of questions that they may ask you that you could easily answer by just reading the news. So the fourth app I have for you here today is called Calm. Now the Calm app like exactly what it is. It's an app for meditation and sleep. I think it's so important during your career to not make really fast or quick or emotional decisions just based off of one specific instance or one specific interaction that you had that day. I think it was either 1 or 2 years ago, I was having a really bad day at work, like a terrible day, and I could not go to sleep that night. And then I kept seeing ads for the Calm app. I was like, I don't know. So I downloaded it and I put on one of the bedtime stories that they had, and I went straight to sleep. And I honestly have not stopped using it since then. It is amazing. I would say I use this app a couple of times a week, probably 3 or 4 times a week. Like I'm a dedicated Calm user. So in addition to like really tough work situations or when you're just having, a regular day and you want to meditate, you can also use the Calm app right before you go into an interview. I know. Sometimes your nerves are just fluttering and your heart's pounding and you're sweating, and you just have this moment on the app where I'm just like listening to one of the stories or doing a meditation session, and I'm just calm, So there's so many use cases for it during your career, but I would definitely say the main one I use it for is really tough days at work where my mind is racing and I can't go to sleep that night, or when I'm about to send an email that I probably shouldn't send. Now, the 5th app I use during my career is LinkedIn. And the truth is that many people have a LinkedIn profile, but they're not using it effectively. And that's because they're not using it. If you're an avid social media user, when I say avid, like you go on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Clubhouse, one of those apps, social media apps every single day, you should also be using LinkedIn every single day. And the reason why is because LinkedIn can actually provide you with a job opportunity, with a business venture, with more clients. Like if you are business oriented, career oriented, you should absolutely have the LinkedIn app. And the reason why I say LinkedIn app versus the website app is because LinkedIn app really encourages you to use it more than you would if you had to like log into your laptop to go onto it or open a web browser to go onto it. I have had so much success with networking on LinkedIn. Many of my clients for my business have come on LinkedIn. Actually, according to my analytics, almost 80% of my clients have come from LinkedIn. That shows you the power of the app alone. So I really encourage you, if downloading the app and having it right next to your Instagram or your Facebook or your Snapchat or your TikTok is gonna make it more accessible for you to really start leveraging it, definitely do it. Because I know once I downloaded the app, I immediately started using it more. And as I just told you, it's greatly benefited me for my career and also for my business. So the final app that I have for you all today is the Google Calendar app. Whatever it is that you need to schedule that day, you can use a calendar app for it. So the way in which I use it is traditional and also untraditional. I use it, of course, to schedule out my meetings, book appointments with clients, work meetings, all that good stuff, but I also use it for tasks. I'm a person that likes to have things in 3 different places. So in addition to my Evernote app, where something has to get completed by the end of that week or by the end of that day, I will also put that same exact note of whatever needs to be completed in my calendar. I look at my calendar multiple times per day. A lot of my job has to do with me managing calendars. So because of that, I throw everything on my calendar. If I have a deadline for a project that day, I throw it on my calendar. If there are micro tasks that I need to complete to get to the completion of that project, I throw those on my calendar too. Every single little thing that needs to get done that day is on my calendar. And for my Google Calendar, I also schedule my appointments on there. So anything, whether it's a dentist appointment, a nail appointment, every single thing, I put on my calendar so that I know what's conflicting in terms of work and personal. I highly recommend that you get some sort of calendar app if you do not have one already. It doesn't have to be Google specifically, because with the Google Calendar app, you do need a Gmail, but have something that allows you to schedule out your day. My life was saved when I started getting serious about my calendar, because now I know what's going on for that day, for that week, and I can anticipate and plan ahead. So highly recommend, if you don't have it already, get into the habit of scheduling, because it's going to help you boost your career. Remember that boosting your career requires you to be more productive, communicate effectively, and just take some time to rest before you make a career decision. So use any of these apps to do that to help you boost your career. As I said earlier in this video, I am a career coach. So if you just want someone to talk to about your career, you're feeling frustrated, or you just really want to start growing and figuring out how to do so, I can help you with that. Go ahead and email me at info@haylesconsulting.com, or you can use the link down in the description box to set up a career coaching session where we can talk one-on-one. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more career and life tips. I'm gonna start doing different types of content, so I'll throw those out there and see what you guys like. But comment down below certain videos or topics that you'd like to see me discuss in future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.